In today's edition of Flipchart Friday, I know today is Thursday, but for the people that want to be able to watch it live on Friday, I'm not going to be able to do that tomorrow, so we're going to get to it today. Today in our private group, we were talking about plateauing and max cap and how that works. So it's okay to plateau in your business, in your fitness studio, as long as plateauing happened because you've hit maximum capacity, maximum opportunities. So let's say you've done the math and square footage, you said, okay, we can fit, let's say 1,000 members. And at that point, we are busting at the seams. There's nothing else we can do. We've upgraded everybody that we can. At this point, we've got to get another location. That's not considered plateau. That's considered hitting capacity. What I'm not okay with, and what you shouldn't be okay with either, is when you plateau before hitting max capacity, meaning, man, my business is stuck. Yes, we keep getting members, but we're losing members, and we're in this game where no matter what we do, we can't seem to move forward. So we've been stuck at about 250 members or 200 members or 300 members, whatever it is. We've been stuck at this point for too long. And so there's two things that you've got to really focus on in order to make sure that you can get that plateau to stretch out further or eventually never really exist. And number one is your attrition, or the opposite of your retention, right? The amount of people that you lose on a monthly basis. And the next one is the amount of new members that you get. Now, I have a hypothetical example I'm going to take you through so you can see more about what I mean. So I want you to imagine, for the sake of this argument, and we're going to use easy numbers here, okay? Imagine that you have 150 members currently. That's how many members you currently have. And let's say you've done the math and you realize that your attrition is at about 10%. Now, if your attrition is at about 10%, what that means is if you go into a month with 150 members, you'll lose about 15 of them. That's 10% attrition, right? If you have 5% attrition, you're losing about 7, 8 members, right? So this is one of the metrics that you're going to want to drive down, okay? The next one is going to be the average of new members that you bring in each month. So let's say you currently bring in 15 new members per month. Well, if you're currently bringing in 15 new members per month and you have a 10% attrition with 150 members, this right here is where you plateau, because no matter what, you can't outsell your attrition. No matter what, you can't sell more than what you're losing. Now, if you can get that attrition down to 5%, well, then you're adding 8 net new members. Or if you can turn that to 23, then you're adding 8 net new members. If you can increase both, then you win. So these are two areas that you have to constantly focus on. So I want to give you a couple examples as to how that would work in certain scenarios. So you got one of our members, his name is Matt Kafora. You've heard of Matt. I've had him on the GSD show several times. Matt owns, I think, 20 businesses right now. All of his businesses do 7 or 8 figures or more. 7 of his businesses are fitness studios. And Matt actually he owns 7 Orange Theories. Now, if any of you know about Orange Theory, during the pandemic, they've had to pause everything. They had to pause, meaning we can't charge members. We can't do at-home workouts and charge you for it. We can do at-home work, but we'd be doing it for free. So the franchise, this allowed them from being able to charge. So Matt's revenue went down to 0 during the pandemic. And about a month and a half ago, he was able to open back up. And already Matt's average revenue across his 7 stores is $1,000 in monthly recurring revenue. $100,000, sorry, I don't know if I said that, but $100,000 in monthly recurring revenue. So now there's 2 things that he has to focus on. Because let's say Matt right now brings in 100 members a month. Okay, if he brings in 100 members per month, new members, if that's what he brings in per month, and his attrition is at 10%, that means if he has 1,000 members, he's breaking even. So imagine that. Imagine having 100 new members and still breaking even. Okay. Now, where Matt's at, Matt can fit about 1,200 members in his location, so he can still keep going, but he's got to focus on this number going down, and he's got to focus on this number going up. So every month, you should be measuring, where are we currently at? So if you started this month and you said, okay, we're at 150 members, that's where we're at. Okay. We started the month with 150. Now you look at last month and you go, last month we lost 10% of the members that we started with the month before. So let's say you had 20 members to start the previous month, and you pause 12, you know your attrition is at 10%. And let's say you say we added 15 new members. So these are 3 numbers that you want to pay attention to. And the next month, you want to make sure that this number is lower Even if it's 9%, I don't care. Just make a step forward. And if this one's 16, 18, 20, whatever it is, just make sure that this number is higher. If you keep stretching these numbers, no matter what, you will not hit capacity. You will not plateau. You will hit capacity before you ever do that, okay? So Matt, for instance, if Matt has, let's say, 1,000 active members right now, and he's getting 100 new members, but he's got a 5% attrition, which I think Matt's at about a 4% attrition, but let's use 5 for sake of numbers. That means he's losing 50 members per month. That's what he's losing. So if he's adding 100 members, he's still net positive 50. He added 50 more members. He's going into the next month with 1,050 active. Does that make sense? So I bring this up to all of you because today in the group call, I realized that these two numbers, as important as they are, they weren't being measured by the few people that were in the group call. And I want to make sure you guys are doing that. So look at your attrition, know what it was, and every month, drive that lower. At one point, you're going to be fine with decimal points, right? So you'll be fine going from a 4.3 to a 4.1, right? That's okay. I'm okay with that too, as long as this number continues to drive down. And then for your new members, drive that up. Okay, so now how do we get more and more members? So one of the things that, Matt Kafora as an example, Corbin's done this as well. Anybody that's got 700, 800, 1,000 members in a studio that's a 2,400 square foot space or less, they have something that a lot of other people don't. So right now, if you're getting 15 members a month, if that's all you're driving, I'm willing to bet that you don't have too many strategies to bring in members. You probably got a couple. You got Facebook ads running, maybe you have Instagram ads running, and maybe you have like a referral thing where if like you refer somebody to a gift card or something like that. That's probably all you've got. But as your attrition, even if it goes down a little bit, as this new member count starts to rise, this number needs to rise. I mean, even a 5% attrition of 1,000 members means you have to get 50 new members. So if you don't do that, you're going to hit plateau much, much sooner. So you have to have a lot more lines in the water. So let me fold this back up here for a second. And so I'll tell you something that Matt Kafora does as an example, okay? So number one, yes, of course. He's got Facebook ads running. Yes, this is a way to do it. He's got Instagram ads running. Yes. He'll have YouTube ads. He'll have Google display ads. He'll have Waze, right? These already are more platforms that he's marketing on that the average person just isn't, okay? On top of that, he's got his organic posts. He's got contests. He's got themes. Okay, now for the one that actually drives him the most, he's got referral, ready? Oh, I spelled that wrong. 1F. Programs. Now, not just one. He's got up to 8 referral strategies running at once, okay? One of which is where he gets 5 new leads at point of sale, right? For those of you that know that process, we've talked about that in previous trainings. So now, imagine how this works. Let's say Matt did get, as an example, 50 new members in a month from any of these avenues, which is likely, especially when he's spending money like he's spending. So you got 50 new members. But imagine if 50 of those members averaged 5 referrals per sale. So every time you sign someone up, you get 5 referrals. You got an extra 250 leads. But these aren't digital paid ad leads or leads like this, which generally drive in lower conversion rates, right? This is referral leads, right? So let's say conservatively, he converts 30% of them, right? Conservatively, 30%. Well, that would be 75 more members. So now you can see how he's getting so many members in a month, okay? But here's a cool thing. Those 75 members, they send over 5 referrals each. Okay, so now you're at 375 referrals. Let's say you get 30% of that. Conservatively, 20% of that, okay? Now you're already at another 70, right? Plus that. So the key, guys, is to understand that when you first start out, you got 150, 200 members, you probably don't need more than a couple lines in the water, a couple of marketing strategies in order to beat your attrition, because even a 10% attrition, which I consider is high, to me that there's a problem there. If you have a 10% attrition, we need to retain a lot better. There's things that we've got to be doing to retain better. But let's say you have a 10% attrition, well, that's okay. I mean, you just got to get more than 10 members to keep moving forward. One of these, any one of these will drive you past that number. But once you start getting to 250 members, 300 members, 350, which you should be doing, right? Once you start moving up, if you just have one or two of these in here, you're going to hit plateau so much sooner. You need to be able to have several different strategies to be able to bring in members so that this number continues to increase while also your team is working on bringing the attrition down. So know these three numbers, guys. I really want you to focus. Anytime I ask you, you should know how many active recurring members do you have right now? Active recurring. Next question is, what is your attrition goal for this month or your retention goal? You can go the opposite, 90% retention. I don't care what you do. What is your goal for this month regarding attrition or retention? And the next one is, what is your goal for new members, which obviously should be higher than whatever this percentage of that number equals. So you should know these three numbers. Not only should you know those three numbers, but your team should know those three numbers. So everybody's going in the right direction. Everybody knows what they have to do for that month on a weekly basis and on a daily basis, okay? So that is the training for today, how to make sure you do not plateau. Guys, if you're not already, make sure you subscribe. I think that's right here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? And make sure you set notifications for on so that we can alert you every time we come up with a new training. We do about 1 to 3 of these every single week for free, so continue to tune in. Anybody wants to know more about how we can actually help you do this, coach you through it one-on-one, take you step by step, give you the scripts, give you the templates, give you everything you need to be able to get 5 referrals at the point of sale and show you how to actually do it and hold you accountable to getting it done and even train your team, just go ahead and reach out to us at Loud Rumor. I'll actually put the number up here. You can give us a call at 480-567-9794. You could also comment. If you like this training, go ahead and comment below with your favorite part of the training and also what goals you're going to be setting for yourself. Thanks so much for watching, and we're probably going to put this on the GSD podcast as well. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast, and you can catch it there while you're driving.